morning, good afternoon, or good evening. I'm Audrey Wiggins, and welcome to another webisode of Make Something Happen. In the studio today, we have Doug Patterson. He's the president of Production Plus Productions, LLC. And his agency is a licensed booking agency. So like the licensed booking agency. So if you've got a tough act out there and you want to be seen, this is the guy to get you some business. Well, Doug, thanks for being here today. You wanted to take the time, take a little moment here to introduce yourself and give us some background. I know you've been in sales for a long time, and definitely that has helped you in the entertainment industry. Go ahead, Doug.
Well, as you mentioned, I got into sales a long time ago. I don't want to go back how far. But in sales, the way I got into the entertainment industry was very funny. I sold automobiles, sold furniture. You got into sell, but number one, I had to believe the product I sell.
Absolutely.
Okay. So that means in the entertainment industry, as you as an entertainer, I had to believe in you before I could sell what I believe in. And then the purchaser believes in what I do, and I have to back it up. As you mentioned, I am a licensed agent. And they say, well, what's a licensed agent? A person could be just an agent. Well, to me, when you go buy meat and they put USDA on it, or if you go do something, even salesmen now, they have to go to classes and get certification, real estate, insurance, mortgage. They have to understand the rules of the game.
Yes.
So therefore, I've decided to get licensed with the American Federation of Physicians, local agency, United States and Canada. That means I go by the guidelines and the rules that are official. The way I got into the business, real quickly, I was selling Cadillacs for about 10 years. And then I left the Cadillac industry because of the hours, and I went into personnel. I went into a personnel agency, and I was finding jobs for people with skills, matching job skills. When I left that industry, what happened was I went to another company, and I was placing back in those days what we call electronic technicians, which were field technicians. Then somebody approached me and said, hey, I can give you a better offer than that. I can double the salary. So I'm like, what? So they said, let's get into a field. It's going to be engineering. So I'm like, okay, engineering and electronics, two different industries. I went over there. Wrong. Because when I was in the personnel industry for a long time, I had signed a non-compete, which I forgot because I was doing it for about 8 years. And they came after me and said, hey, you can't do that to our company. So it was a counter sue. They said, fine, you get out of the industry, we'll let things go. But I liked the personnel because I was pretty good at it.
You're good for people.
I was pretty good at it. So I said, what can I do to do something similar to what I'm doing that I won't get sued for because of the non-compete? And I've been listening to the music industry a long time. I said, why don't I find jobs for people in the music industry? It's not the same thing, and I can find jobs for people. And so I got with a sound company. So I learned things about sound, wedges and monitors and so forth like that. And when I learned these things, I was doing national acts where we were doing shows for national acts. And I'm bringing in the lighting and system like that and so forth like that. And then I said, you know what? National acts already know what to do.
Yes.
Because they made it to that point. What I would like to do is find the local artists that got their acts together or trying to, and bring them to the par of success the other way. So therefore, I'm looking for acts. By being a sound company, big major corporations will come to me and say, hey, I got an event with 5,000 people or 10,000 people. And I said, well, do you have any entertainment? They said, not really, not yet. I said, I'll find you the entertainment.
Wow.
So therefore, I said, what is your format of your entertainment? They give me their format, and I'll go find the entertainment.
Okay, what I just heard was the sales process.
Sales process.
You build a relationship with your client. First of all, you learned your product. So then you learned your client beyond his needs of what you originally were sent there for. And they responded to you because you built that relationship with them. I think that's fantastic.
Well, another thing to take off on, back a long time ago, Motown came to Cleveland, and they were looking for talent, and they came to me through another source. And as we ran that talent to find the best acts out there, we went through 375 acts that day, And normally when they were traveling across the country, they used to do like 225 acts.
Okay.
And I did 375.
Wow.
And they were like, wow. In fact, the lady that won it ended up traveling, and she became a national act. So I would go into clubs to book acts. And going into clubs, you find out you be up all night. So I didn't like to be out all night. A lot of times you go into management, they can't make the decisions. The club owners are usually there in the daytime. So I said, instead of traveling, why don't I put the show on television?
Okay. You know, I'm going to hold you right there. Pick this up on the other side of this message. We're going to be right back with Doug Patterson, Production Plus Productions.
This is your day to shine, your time to win. So raise your cup and drink.
Hii coffee ni nzuri sana, kwa hivyo tunatakikana kukunywa, alafu tunasaidia dunia yote, trayendo los tesoros de la tierra a la gente del mundo.
Your time to win. Why do the same when you can go? Why do the same when you can go beyond, 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 go beyond.
Doug, before the break, you were about to tell us about, you know, first of all, you spent the story, you know, how you got into the business, which was fantastic, to be honest with you. And how you got into the clubs. It was like, you know, you weren't a person, you weren't a nightlife person, but, you know, what you were doing kept you in the nightlife. So pick up from there.
Well, what happened, RV, I had an idea. I went to a television station, Channel 19, I'll give you the play on that. I said, here's what I would like to do. Instead of me running all over town, finding acts, why don't they come to me? Let's put it on television and let the acts call me up, or people call me up and say, hey, I seen this act, I would like that act. And that's how I got started,
Okay.
which was called Stars of Tomorrow. The TV station said, let's do a pilot. So we did a pilot. We got all these different groups, whether it's gospel, jazz, blues, country and western, Latino. It didn't make it hip hop. And we got all these groups and we put them on television to sell them. And the rest was history. What came on later on? American Idol.
Yeah.
So we
Yes.
actually were out there before American Idol.
Yes.
And I know a lot of people could tell you stories about what happened in the past. And by me doing this, I got a lot of play for a lot of major corporations that tell me to find entertainment. And I work with a lot of festivals and corporations now where they'll say, find me the talent, or this is what I got, create me something. And then I create it, because it don't necessarily have to be already pre-written. Written. They would say, hey, this is what I want to happen, put it together.
Okay.
Mhm.
As you've had a long, you know, successful career doing that, very in depth, and then you're back into it again. You're licensed. You got your website. You got some new acts coming up, and what else is going on, Doug?
Well, with the new acts coming up, we found out a lot local people. We found local people follow each other. Okay. In other words, Audrey, if you got a jazz band, they go to this club, everybody's following behind. I try not to do that because they can do that themselves. So what I do is try to create something different.
Yeah.
So when they come to me, either you got the skills or you don't have it. Either you got it or you don't have it. And I had a studio downtown Cleveland where we actually audition people, and I don't know how they found out about us, and this a while ago before all the new technology, but bands were coming to my studio on Sundays from Detroit, Indiana, Illinois. They were coming in from everywhere, dressed in their costume, and we said, we're going to put you in game conditions before we book you out there. In other words, when you come to me, you must be dressed like you're going to perform, because I got to look at that. How you dressing, how you projecting yourself, your personality. And with me and my two brothers at that time, and they're both deceased right now, we went into that. So if me and one of my brothers walked into a situation or a club, you knew we were there for business.
Okay.
And we're pretty respected in the industry.
Absolutely, yes, you are. And you've got some new things coming up on the horizon.
Well, right now I'm working with some promoters concerning some local things coming up. And my thing is right now, and I told all local promoters that come in our city, if you come in our city and you use me, you're going to use local artists to open up the show. We're going to give them some exposure. We let them do that before, and everybody else start copying, just like anything else. People copy, that's fine. As long as you use them and everybody's saying, hey, we look for local artists, but are they really using it? We are going to be looking for local artists to open up. I work with a lot of festivals that come to me about different acts, and I will push local artists to open up events.
That's fantastic, because we do have a lot of awesome talent here in the greater Cleveland area and surrounding states. So I think that's fantastic that you plug into that first, because there's a lot of major events that come in and a lot of major artists. And some of our folks that I know of have been able to open up with them. So I've been really happy, proud to see that happen. Yeah, so that's awesome that you're a leader in that field. Now, it being a licensed booking agency, so you mentioned that that's part of the American Federation of Musicians. So you're a member as an agent. So then those musicians can also join, or what do the musicians join?
Well, being a licensed agent means that I'm accountable for what I do.
Okay.
And one thing is being a licensed agent, if you don't pay us, we have attorneys that go after you in this industry. So you're protected under that guideline. But I'm also a kind of cross between the agency and Production Plus Productions, LLC. So it's a cross between the two agencies, whether I'm with the American Federation of Musicians or with Production Plus LLC. We're going to get you the job. Either you got it or you don't. We don't hold back punches. You got a little kid. If we're dealing with children, it's very important that parents be very supportive of them, Audrey.
Yes.
We make them sign off. We did a thing at Randall Park Mall where we did auditions. So I've always been out there trying to help the people turn the level up. So we give them the same exposure when we do national acts. And I could sit here all day and tell you all the national acts I've done, but I'm not going to do that. Just give you a few real quick. Janet Jackson, Luther Vandross, Michael Jackson, the Daz Band, also with Gerald Levert, Ponderosa Twins. I mean, we can go on. Ramsey Lewis, Nina Simone, Gap Band. In fact, I had Rick James when he first came. No, not Rick James, but Prince.
Oh.
When Prince came in first, we dealt with them. So we've been around Dramatics, Isley Brothers. So we've been around.
Absolutely, yes. Your reputation precedes you.
Yeah.
Absolutely, that's fantastic. Real excited, and happy for you, going forward. We'll look and see how the year wraps out. So we're going to take another break, and then we're going to be right back again with Doug Patterson. back with Doug Patterson, President of Production Plus Productions, LLC, licensed booking agency. Now, Doug, I know if there's a lot of events coming up over the summer. There's a lot of, big concerts, big name things, or, bands are coming into town, like you mentioned previously, that opening acts, and some of them are maybe our local festivals, which are big business. And a lot of acts go through these festivals, and sometimes you really get discovered, and like you say, have a great following. So if I was an an artist, then how would I plug into you to how would I get in touch with you?
Well, two ways you can get in touch with me. Number one, and let me just re-emphasize this: if you're youth, it's okay too, but you must have your parents involved.
Okay. Yes.
So let's start with that one. So I do work with youth and look at their talents and go from there. But you can reach me at 216-400-7551. That's 216-400-7551. Or you can send your demos to demos@p+p.net.
Right. You want to say that on the website one more time?
It's demos at p+p.net.
Okay.
p+p.net.
Okay. Great. So they'll be able to send over some MP3 files, Google Music files, or and even if they're just sending an email, I can maybe link out to their if you have their own website.
And as you mentioned, the summertime, right now the schedule's starting to build up. So the major companies, the major organizations that are calling me are starting to call for later on in September. So if you are interested, it's the best time to do it now.
Okay. Awesome.
Because it usually takes a while to build that format up.
Okay. Now, when people come to you, they're groomed. I mean, do you help them with a little bit of management of, grooming, or you have people you refer them to? Because I know everyone who comes to you may have a great talent, but they may not be polished as an artist.
If they're not polished, then we try to send them to someone. But most of the time, we try to work with them.
Okay.
I mean, we're not successful with everybody because some people feel they got it and they don't have it.
Yes.
And it ain't what you know, it's who you know. So sometimes I'll put you in link with someone that can possibly do that for you.
But give us a little inside view from your side as a booking agent into the entertainment industry. This is a serious business. It can be cutthroat.
Well, one thing about the business that you just say cutthroat, and I work with the radio station. I used to work with local radio station and account executive, and that kind of helped me out too, to be able to write commercials and understand how commercials and how radio time goes. And working, as I mentioned, with the sound companies. But I found out if you say too much of what you do, people will take your things. But the good part of that, on the good part of it, if it's not good, they're not going to copy.
Yes.
But if it is good, they will copy.
And
So
then
you
you're a
can
leader.
compliment that. Yeah. And one thing about Production Plus Production, our logo and our names, it says in entertainment we trust. And we're the originators, not the duplicators. We don't really try to duplicate other people's things. We like to come up with different concepts. We will not follow track because somebody else will do. We'll take the lead and we try to create the lead.
Okay.
And even then, sometimes it gets hard. Even with all the years I have, you still got people that will crisscross you in that industry. But that's in any industry if you're successful.
Yes.
So don't get mad if somebody does it. Just do what you got to do. As long as you do what you got to do, the man up will take care of you.
Any other advice though that you have for the artists themselves?
Artists, also make sure that you're humble, because I work with artists, national and local artists, and they have these attitudes, and it's good to have the confidence and so forth, but be humble. And I know you've been out here for a while and struggling and trying to make it, but always have something to fall back on. Don't just say, hey, I'm going to be in the entertainment industry, and that's all you do. Entertainment industry, you need to know your history in school, because you need to know how it came. You need to know your math in school so you can know how to run your money. You need to know business in school so you can know how, if you want to start a business. You need to know science and how you can mix and match different things. You need to know reading to be able to understand and read a contract. So those things that you learn in school, don't look at it like, well, I don't want to do this. You need every one of those things, even social studies, to understand what happened and what the past happened in order to get you to the future. Because if you don't understand those basic subjects, math, English, to be able to talk when you want to talk to someone, that's very good in English. So that's what I would tell artists out there. Learn your basics, understanding your math, your English, your science, your social studies, and things of that nature. whether you're a hands-on person or you're a person behind the scenes or a person out front. Learn those things first, your basic fundamentals. You can't grow plants without treating the grass or whatever before you harvest them. So learn that part first, and then you'll have a better job. Be honest and be straightforward. Because even though you're out there promoting, it's tough out there. And just like bands, if you look at one club, you'll find all the bands run together. And all the groups usually mix and match. And you find a drummer playing with this band that time, and next time he's with somebody else. The same thing in the industry. It takes a while. And sometimes you don't want to go into these small venues and say, hey, they're not paying enough. Take that advantage and say, if I go in this venue, they're not paying enough, but we're getting paid to rehearse. You're getting paid to rehearse to be better. So if they're only paying you a few $100s, you say that's not enough. Take that advantage if you think it's going to give you some exposure, and use that time to rehearse. Because you got to rehearse, and not rehearsing in the basement, not rehearsing in the studio, but actually rehearsing in the game conditions, so that way people can book you and come to you.
Absolutely, because you have to learn how to perform in front of an audience. And sometimes you may, depending on that venue, especially if you're small, like you say, you may be playing back and forth with
You
the
never
audience.
know who's sitting in the audience.
That's right.
I might walk up in the one day and you don't know I'm sitting in the back. But usually I'm sitting back there, and I might say, wow, I got a client. They will match my client, and I'll approach you. So you never know. So always play your best, and play as much as you possibly can.
Okay. All right. We're going to take another quick break, and we'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Les Brown. I'm Mrs. Mamie Brown's baby boy, and I encourage you to make sure you watch Make Something Happen, because life is about making something happen. You have something special. You've got greatness within you. Make Something Happen is the show to see. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Studies show that you are likely 1 in a billion. 1 of a billion people, that is, that are vitamin D deficient. At least you're in good company. New research suggests that vitamin D may be one of the best vitamins for your entire body, since scientists have uncovered more than 200 different genes that are regulated by this nutrient. 90% of vitamin D circulating in our body is vitamin D3, which is made by the skin after exposure to sunlight. That's why it's known as the sunshine vitamin. Vitamin D3 is actually a pro-hormone that has been found in almost every type of human cell, from your brain to your bones. What's even more compelling, studies show that almost every major disease can be linked to a vitamin D deficiency, including many cancers and bone diseases. Health providers and the public alike are starting to take notice. The New York Times called it a vitamin with broad influence. Fox News reported that except for stopping smoking, there are not many other known interventions that are capable of such a reduction in the risk of death. Emerging scientific research indicates that vitamin D3 plays a key role in our overall health and well-being, and that we can all benefit from adding this supplement to our diet. So if you want your vitamin D without harmful rays, spray it. Taking an oral spray helps for quick absorption into the circulatory system, tissues, and cells. Vitamin D3 spray is easy to take, perfect for those who dislike swallowing pills, and is 10 times easier for the body to absorb. Getting enough vitamin D might be the most important thing you do for yourself. Vitamin D3 spray, a little drop of sunshine that will make a big difference for a long, healthy life.
So we're pretty much at the end of our program. The time went real fast. I guess we're having fun.
Yeah. Ask me all my secrets and questions.
Yes, for sure. We're gonna put you out there in the global mix and see what's gonna happen. But definitely, you have been a leader. I've been watching you over the years and had the opportunity to work with you on a couple of projects, and especially like the community festivals. You're doing entertainment. Me and a couple other folks were doing the PR. So those were fun days. Long and grueling, but at the end, when it's all said and done, and the event comes, and the people on the stage, and the word has been out, the crowd is out there. It's really a fantastic feeling to to see that culminate like that. And, so again, congratulations on your career, and you're just still really going strong. So appreciate you being here today. If you just want to wrap up one more time and give us your contact information and any last minute advice maybe that you didn't say in the last segment.
Well, Archie, when you were saying that, one of the things I wanted to say about people is that make sure you keep practicing and don't give up. It gets hard out there. Practice, practice, practice. You never know who will see you. So you always want to do that. I mean, we handle anything from R&B, gospel, country, western, blues, Latino. It doesn't make any difference, or something else we want to recreate. We will match that with you or create something. And you can reach me again at 216-400-7551, or you can send your DVDs or your tapes or your DATs to demos at P+P, and that's PPLUSP.net.
Okay, that's awesome. So you heard it right here. So get those demos and your tapes in to Doug Patterson. See if we can get you booked on some of this these great events that are coming up in the area and a little beyond, because you're U.S. and Canada. So there's a lot of activity going on that you can plug into and make some money. One other question I didn't ask though, Doug. We were talking about artists, but what about people who are composing? They're writing and they need someone to sing their music.
Then I will steer them in that direction.
Okay.
One thing, Audrey, too, as a booking agent, I don't just do music and singers.
Okay.
It could be a band, it could be a ventriloquist, it could be a comedian, it could be a model. You know, we work with any arts or entertainment.
Okay.
In fact, we were going to do a show some years ago, and I said, you know, we got talent. Let's do a show called We Got Talent. And what happened?
America's Got Talent.
So you see, when you talk, you never know. We was going to do a show one time before, and next thing we know, somebody else was doing a show. So it happens. Spit it out and just move on.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, well, thanks again for coming by.
Thank you very much, Audrey.
Look forward to seeing you out there. And you go out and make something awesome happen. If you're an artist, you're a musician, you're a writer, a singer, an actor, whatever it is, you know, like Doug said, hone those skills, because you want to be able to make something happen for yourself and your community and the world. Let's make a difference.